The University of Calcutta was established on January 24, 1857, in pursuance of a dispatch sent by the Court of Directors of the British East India Company in July 1854. This dispatch was sent to the Governor General of India in Council, suggesting the establishment of the universities of Calcutta, Madras and Bombay. The motto of the university is Advancement of Learning. The Calcutta University Act 1951, which came into effect from March 1954, provided for postgraduate teaching in some of the affiliated colleges as well as in the university colleges. The University of Calcutta had an enormous territorial jurisdiction during a considerable period of its existence. But the jurisdiction of the university is, at present, limited to the districts of West Bengal. The Department of Zoology, located in the Taraknath Palit Shikha Prangan or Bullygunge Science College, was established in 1919. It facilitates research and teaching at the postgraduate level. The department began its journey with eminent entomologist Professor S.N. Maulik as the first professor. The department houses a heritage zoological museum containing over 5,000 well-preserved specimens of common as well as rare vertebrate and invertebrate faunal species. This 100-year-old heritage contains and showcases biodiversity resources that are invaluable knowledge in the domain of biology and related subjects, evolution and taxonomy. There are also models of animals systems to render anatomical training to the students of zoology. This museum has acted as the nodal resource center for a number of undergraduate and postgraduate colleges and institutes, as well as participated in outreach programs meant for school children to enhance awareness about our rich biodiversity.
A museum composed of a skeleton. This is part of a skeleton. This is the head of a python. This is the entire body of the Himalayan python. These are corals, a skeleton in the domestic pigeon, which is a common sight in Kolkata. This is all a legacy of this 100-year-old museum, zoology department in University of Calcutta. These are not only educational tools. The reason we are working on the museum is to exploit as far as we can its potential as a resource, not only as a center for generation of knowledge and awareness, but also providing materials which otherwise are widely distributed in the world in various zoogeographical realms. To have them under one roof, to be able to look at them up close and personal, to explore whatever the story it has to tell and take it to a different level. So to the casual observer, this is an exhibit, but to the person practicing zoology, to the researcher, it is a resource. It is a resource of information and of flesh. And in this department, some of the flesh that is preserved is probably the last piece of flesh on planet Earth, because many of them have become extinct. So to say in a capsule what the importance of this museum is, it is a biodiversity gallery where one can look at the animals up close and personal and understand the information that is behind them. to convert this biodiversity through a rigorous process of bioprospecting into bioresources that will bring the much needed revenue in this cash impoverished nation. For that, we have to make a marriage of innovation, which is science and technology, and on the other hand, the biodiversity, which is in situ, in nature, to preserve it and to conserve specimens from nature for posterity. For example, these specimens that I'm sitting with are at least 100 years old when they became a part of this collection, and this collection grew. Over the last 20 years, it has fallen into neglect, and this project is to revive the awareness that such species existed, and to use cutting edge technology to look at the cells, to look at the genome, to look at the tissues, and put that information up for researchers, for academicians, for anybody interested, the general public, as to what can be done to preserve them in their native state, and what can be done as we explore, excavate, and mine more and more information that their flesh has to provide, that their habit and habitat has to provide. I'll give two examples. Hirudo medicinalis, which is a leech, provides an anticoagulant, heparin, in its jaw when it attacks its prey. And this anticoagulant is a life-saving medicine for mankind. If you get hirudo, you will not get the heparin. So the work of a taxonomist is to identify it correctly in the field. The work of an ecologist is to tell the story of not only the leech but everybody else that occur with it, plants and animals. And the work of the laboratory researcher is to collate all this information into a seamless story from which one can mine information as to how to get it in the field, how to preserve its natural ecosystem, and then when you bring it to the lab, what are the products that one can get out of it without disturbing its natural habitat.
They are found all over the world, but most of them live in the deep sea. In the wild, they can live for up to 35 years. Basket star have 5 arms sprouting from their central disc. Each arm branches out over and over again until it ends up with a kind of mesh, the basket. These are a species of unsegmented marine worms which can grow up to 350 millimeter in length. These are found worldwide, mainly in temperate and tropical seas. The oral disc carries a large tentacular lobe which is highly folded, its margin sinuous or scalloped but not markedly incised to form tentacles. It is also sold and exported as a dried seafood product. Is found along the east coast of North America, mainly in the Delaware Bay. It is a living fossil. Forms almost identical to this species were present during the Triassic period 230 million years ago, and similar species were present in the Devonian period, a staggering 400 million years ago. It have been used extensively in the biomedical industry for the manufacture of surgical sutures, making dressings for burn victims, and in eye research. Found in tropical areas of the West Atlantic Ocean, it has a familiar maze-like appearance. This species of reef-building coral has a hemispherical brain-like shape with a brown, yellow or grey color. It has characteristic deep interconnected double valleys. These polyp-bearing valleys are each separated by grooved ambulacral ridges. There may be a difference in color between the valleys and the grooves. During its planktonic larval stage, the coral has locomotion. After that time, it becomes permanently sessile.
This museum, the Heritage Museum of the Department of Zoology, University of Calcutta, is one such resource center, one of the oldest in the country, to rival even that of the Indian Museum and the Zoological Survey of India. And it is our duty and responsibility to restore it and make it interactive with the researcher and the general public in such a way as to provide the information which can turn this biodiversity into bioresources.